It's pumpkin waffles. Pumpkin.
Yep. Like, I don't care.
Pumpkin waffles or something like that. But it does smell
My mom's
better.
like, what smells do you want? I'm like, I don't know, you just pick smells.
Well, some people don't like certain things.
I'm like, as long as it's not like cinnamon, we're good.
Oh gosh, see, that's like one of the favorites at my house.
It's the only thing I don't like cinnamon. It's like the smell or the taste.
Interesting.
I hate it so much.
I love
Everything else is
cinnamon.
fun.
But yeah, that's cinnamon pumpkin waffle.
Well, it's got other stuff mixed. As long as it's not just like straight
No,
cinnamon.
it's pumpkin pecan. Excuse me.
She bought like this candle. It's just like a cinnamon spice candle or something. I don't even know what it said. And it was just like the smell so off.
I'm sorry. What? Also.
I hear something too. I'm like, what is that?
I was distracted. Okay, so yeah, sometimes you just need to like freshen the area up, you know. And it's so hot here, we can't always open the windows. Okay, so for those watching the video, I have, and I'll make an announcement, I've extended the homework because I know some of you are having issues with it. And we've got 2 more problems in the worksheets that we can go through that will hopefully help. But I know for one thing, I'm going to go back and
Solid.
change and I'm going to go back and look at.
That always, have you ever seen Spaceballs?
Yeah, a long time ago.
That reminds me of like when they pop in the VHS of Spaceballs.
Yeah.
And they see themselves over and over looking at the screen. Yes.
Oh, I hate that's like walking out of the grocery store and seeing yourself on the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like watching myself.
No, it's like because because you're seeing like the same thing over and over and over. Just getting
Oh,
smaller.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. Not to mention, when you watch yourself on a video, you sound much more country than you think you do. Your accent becomes much more pronounced.
Yes, I know.
So, all right. I know this one in particular was throwing a lot of folks off because all we have on here is purchases. Okay, but you still got the same concept. So let's just kind of talk through this one real quick. All right, so we've got 3 identical units, just 3, that are purchased during April. And we've got the 3 different methods listed down here, the A, B, and C. And we're supposed to calculate gross profit and ending inventory. Well, remember the formula for gross profit is sales minus cost of merchandise sold. Well, our sales amount, I don't know if y'all can see, you can't see me pointing really. Look right here under where it says average cost per unit. Assume that 1 unit is sold on April 30th for $150. So that's going to be our sales amount for each scenario, $150. So all you have to figure out is what is my cost of merchandise sold in each scenario, A, B, and C. On the first one, we have first in, first out that we're supposed to apply. So what would be our cost using first in, first out? This is the order they're purchased in. So which would be the first one purchased?
104.
Right. So you'll take the 150, which is your sales amount, subtract the 104, and that gives you your gross profit. It's not as hard as you think it was. It was just different. Okay, so for last in, first out, that means the latest ones purchased will be the first ones to go out. So what would be your cost on that one? 112. So you're going to say 150 minus 112 will give us our gross profit for last in, first out. Then weighted average cost. That means the cost per unit has been averaged using all 3. So they figure that for you. It's 108. So in the last one, we're going to use our sales amount of 150. Our cost amount is 108. And the difference will be your gross profit. Okay, so for ending inventory for each one of these. A, first in, first out. Well, we sold this 104 item. So what is left?
The other 2.
You got 108 and 112 left. If you sold the April 2 purchase, that unit purchased on April 2nd, it's gone. So what you have left at the end of the month is the April 14th unit at 108, the April 28th unit at 112. So add the two together, you get your ending inventory. All right, so for last in, first out, you have the April 28th unit going into your cost of merchandise sold. So what's left in inventory is your April 14 purchase and your April 2 purchase. So add those two together, and that gives you your ending inventory. Does that make sense? Okay, so on your average cost per unit, all the units have been averaged together to get $108 per unit. So you sell one unit, you have two left, so you'll multiply 2 times 108. That's your ending inventory.
Okay, can you repeat that?
Okay, she asked me to repeat it. Weighted average cost. They have figured you remember when every time we make a purchase, we have to refigure our unit cost. And all they did was make purchases. So every time they made a purchase, they would have averaged it. Well, they just went ahead and did it at the end. So we've got 3 units for a total of 324 that were purchased. So they took that 324, divided it by 3, and got an average cost per unit. So any units we sell, they're all 108. So we sold the one, it was 108. So we got 2 left. They're both 108 apiece. So our ending inventory is going to be 2 units at 108 each. So 108 plus 108 will be your ending inventory. Okay? That make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
That help?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that the one that was throwing you?
Yes, ma'am.
And see,
I thought it was gonna be the chart like you.
your number 1 and your number 2 are like that. And I did not look at them that close, or I would have explained that a little better. Now, when you get to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, this is like what we did in class, except your chart's not here because that's something I put out for you. But you have a blank version in your modules. You can print it out and use it. So the worksheet's available for y'all in the module. Just print it out. Okay, so what, these?
No. I didn't know we could print them out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, y'all be sure you look in the modules because I put stuff out there for you. And I want to say even on your homework assignment, I put in the instructions, there's a blank copy, and I may have even put a link to it.
Oh, I did it in my head.
Well, I mean, that's fine too.
I was like, I don't want to have to write all that out.
See, on here, I said, no, I said, I told you how long it would take.
An hour and a half. And I'm just like, how long is it? And then I go,
Well,
it's only 8 months.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm using the time that that Cengage puts on there for the average time it takes the average student to do it. So it may take you 5 minutes. It may take somebody else 2 hours. It just depends. Okay, in your module, you have the worksheet. No, sorry, blank inventory chart right here under the homework assignment. So make sure you check your modules because, I mean, I may or may not remember to tell you that it's there. So I thought I had put it in the assignment instructions, but apparently I did not. So let's just go over a couple more problems to help you with the concepts here. Some of you did fine, some of you struggled a little bit. So it's just extra practice. Look at it that way. Again, we have tests next week. So we'll review on Monday, but make sure you have signed up for a time slot to take your test. I think most of y'all all signed up, hadn't you?
Yes. Are there going to be, what concept questions are there going to be?
Do what now?
Like what, obviously there's going to be multiple choice, but what are we doing?
It's the costs, and it's sales transactions, it's purchases transactions, freight, all that stuff. But you'll have
So we're just gonna do kind of like journal entries.
yeah, you'll have some journal entries to do. But what I'll do is I will draft up practice problems for us to work on in class Monday, and that'll be the problems part of it, the writing out part of it, and then you'll have a quiz to help you get a feel for what kind of multiple choice stuff you're looking at. So always, I mean, I don't even know if y'all fill out your reading guides, but reading guides are always going to be, and the one for 6 is out there filled in because I had a request for that. They're always going to be a good tool for you to use to study with because it's got all the concepts on it. It's got the, different ideas we talk about maybe, but we don't necessarily spend a lot of time on because it's time consuming and I'd rather work through problems y'all can read. And so, always go back and review your reading guides. Again, the quizzes will help. And we'll review the written part, like the journal entries and that sort of thing. We'll do that in class so you can get refreshed on that, the stuff that's it gets cold after a little bit. So, all right. This is another problem, and it's actually out of your book. This one has a few more transactions than what we had on our examples. What I want you to be aware of when you see a sale. Is that me? That's like things you hear in your dreams and your nightmares, isn't it? My voice going on and on and on. All right, when you see sale, they're telling you the sales price. We don't need that in this problem because we're figuring out costs. So this is just a confusing piece of information. If it says sales, they're all sold at 40. So that means they sell these things for $40 a piece. Okay. We're looking for cost. We're focusing on cost. When you have a sales entry and you debit either accounts receivable or cash, credit sales, you debit cost of merchandise sold, you credit merchandise inventory. We are focusing on the cost of merchandise sold and merchandise inventory piece of that entry. We are calculating that number is what we're doing. And the problems in that chapter, they gave us those numbers. In this chapter, we're learning where those numbers came from, how they were calculated, how they were determined. Okay, so that's what we're focusing on is cost and inventory, not sales. So to me, that's a confusing extra piece of information you don't need. So ignore that because I've had several students that worked on this and they were like, what do I do with this $40? Nothing. All right, so in this problem, we start out with a beginning inventory of 21,600 units at $20. We sell some units, we purchase some units, and they're saying first purchase, second purchase. Okay, it's just the order they're in, so don't let that throw you off. I know that you guys are like super literal, and when you see a little bit of something different in the wording, it just like, it's just telling you the order. This is your first purchase, this is your second purchase. It's not any different. It's just like, you could strike those off and it wouldn't matter. You got a purchase, a sale, so don't let that throw you off. All right, firm uses the perpetual inventory system. That's what we've been using the whole chapter. We're just looking at perpetual. That's the one that's updated continuously. Every time a sale or a purchase is made, the inventory in the system is going to be updated. Like Walmart. Every time you buy something, their system is taking it out of inventory in the records. They're showing that, okay, one went out, another one went out. And then when they receive a shipment, they'll receive those and it'll add to them, okay? So it's continuously being updated. When you have that other system, the periodic system, they only update the information on the accounting records whenever they do a count. So it's not, you can't look at the accounting records and say, oh, we're supposed to have 5 of these on hand, so on. So perpetual is going to be the one you see used most commonly. Small businesses probably use periodic, but if they're small, they can go and see what they got, So anyway, don't let any of this wording trip you up. Perpetual inventory is what we've been using, and we're going to look at each one of these costs. Okay.
I would just like to point out, I'm annoyed. It says A, FIFO, B, LIFO, but then it has LIFO codes.
I know, right? That's my fault. So if you would like, since we've been doing FIFO, LIFO, doing them in that order, if you want to just cross that out and make it FIFO, we can do that. So let's do FIFO first. Let's put it on the top. Because that's the order we've been doing it in. I'm kind of the same way.
Because first in, first out, you want to do first.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of like that too. I kind of have a certain way of doing things. So did
You wanna be
you,
the last
did you
one
fix
first?
that?
Makes no sense.
okay, I was just saying, make sure you saw that. So you fix it and you don't get confused. All right, so make sure you're changing. We're doing FIFO first. We're gonna do it on the first chart. So make sure you make that change if you're doing these, watching the video. Okay, so beginning inventory. Wait, do we have a date? We don't have a date, so don't worry about it. Do y'all want dates?
Sure.
Do they bother you not?
January 1st.
Does it bother you not having dates? Okay, so let's go in here and we'll just say, okay, January 1, beginning inventory. Let's say on the 5th, we have a sale. On the 10th, we have a purchase. On the 17th, a sale. 20th, a purchase. And maybe the 26th, another sale. Just so we can have some dates on there. That work for y'all? Y'all are more creatures of habit than you think you are when you come in here and you're like, wait, there's no dates. What do we do with the dates? And I didn't write them down. So, all right, January 1, beginning inventory. Where are we going to put that?
Inventory balance.
In the balance. Okay, so we've got 21,600 units at $20 a unit. So how much do we have?
432,000.
432,000. These are some large numbers.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so
Are you gonna have
on,
homework like this?
huh?
Are you gonna have homework like this?
Probably not.
Oh, thank God.
I mean, we can if you really want to, but
No.
January 5th, we have a sale of 14,400 units. Well, what cost are we going to use?
$20.
$20. We don't have a choice. That's all we got. So what's the total cost of merchandise sold in this transaction? 14,400 times $20 is how much? 28.
Oh, 200 or
28.8.
288,000.
288?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying 28.8. I need another zero. Okay, so what does that leave us with? We had 21.6, we sold 14.4. So now how many do we have?
7,200.
We have 7,200 units left at $20. So we have 144,000.
Yes.
I am so impressed. I'm doing this in my head. I
I'm
am
not.
very
I have a calculator.
I am very calculator dependent. Okay, what's my next date? The 10th. Okay, so on January 10th, we're going to make a purchase.
We have to use coins now.
We have change. That stinks.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 48,000 units, and this is not a problem I wrote. This one came out of the book.
Well, I mean, it's realistic.
Yeah, it is realistic.
Doesn't have to-
It's just easier when you don't have to deal with change. Okay, so we bought 48,000 units, and they cost us $25.20. So our price has gone up. Our cost has gone up. We're still selling them at $40, but our cost has gone up. So how much did we pay for these total? 48,000 times $25.20. Let me get my calculator out there.
1,209,600.
1,209,600. We now even? Let's see.
I mean,
Interesting.
it's got a million zeros. It's gonna come out even.
1,000,000.
48,000 is 3 zeros. It's gonna make.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the 20 cents. What'd you say? 1,000,002 what?
209,600.
209,000. I was just surprised we didn't come out with any change. Okay, so let's see, how many? Got 5 transactions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 transactions. So we still got a few more. All right, so we'll just keep this like we've been doing it. Now we've got 7,200 units at $20 for 144,000. This is our current inventory now that we've made this purchase. we've got 48,000 units. It cost us $25.20 a piece for a total of $1,209,600. So our total inventory on hand at this point would be the combination of those two numbers. If you wanted to see what your total inventory was, it's not asking for that, so that's not necessary. All right, my next date, I've got 17, 20, and 26. On January 17th, go ahead and write my dates down so I can remember them. All right, so our next thing is a sale. So we're selling 36,000 total units. So if we're using first in, first out, then we've got to use those 7,200 units because they're the oldest. They were first to come in to inventory. So we'll use those, but that's not going to be enough to satisfy that sale. So we'll have to take 36,000 units that were sold, subtract out 7,200 to see how many we've got to pull out of this second batch. And that's going to be 28,800. And those are the $25.20 units. So our cost of merchandise sold on this sale is $144,000 plus 28,800 times that $25.20 per unit cost. So that is $725,760. Now, if we were trying to find out what our cost of merchandise sold was for this transaction, we'd have to add those two amounts together. And that total would be $869,760. If y'all can see that or not. $869,760. Okay, so what does that leave us with? Well, we don't have these anymore because we sold them all. So we've got 48,000 minus the 28,800 that we sold. So that leaves us with 19,200 units of these $25.20 per unit units. Feels like it's redundant. So our total inventory cost at this point is $483,840, and I hope y'all are checking my math. He probably is. Just because that's kind of how he rolls. I always need a math check. Y'all following okay? Okay.
Your math is correct.
Thank you, sir. All right, so our next transaction, our second purchase is 45,000 units. We're paying $26.40 per unit, so prices are just getting higher and higher. So if I were looking at this information and I was selling this product, I'd be kind of interested in looking at whether or not it was time to raise my price. Because as the price, their cost to buy these things is increasing, their profit is decreasing because they're not, if you'll see each one of these sales, they're selling them at $40. They're making less and less money every time they purchase these things at a higher price. So $40,000 units rather, at $26.40 is 56,000, and that's it. Okay, 1,056,000. Okay, so now we have in our inventory these 19,200 units that cost us $25.20 and totaled $483,840. No,
That's 1,180,000.
this
45,000 times 26.40.
wonder what I used. Yep, I used the wrong thing. Okay, correction. 1,188,000. I must have looked at 2520.
Probably.
Okay, so now we have the 19,200 units that cost us 2520, and we have 45,000 of these $26.40 units for a total of 1,188,000. So if we added those two amounts together, we would have our total inventory if we were looking for that for the answer to one of these questions. All right, so on the 26th, we have one last sale for the month, 33,000 units. And again, $40 there is the sales price. That's not going to apply to what we're doing here. All right, so we're selling 33. We've got to use these 19.2 units first because our total, I meant to do this here, on 17th, the sale is 36,000. We should come out with a total of 36,000 units sold. And so our goal here is to come out with 33,000 units. And because we're having to use the oldest ones first in, first out, we've got to use the 19.2 at 2520. And then we have to get the rest of them from the newest batch. So for a total of 33,000 units, we've got 19.2 accounted for. We need 13,800 more. And we'll take those out of the $26.40 batch. So we know our total for the 19.2, it's 483.
You need to go down on them.
Huh? What?
You're running into. See how you did it on the same time you did it.
Yeah, I sure did. Well, sorry about that, people. I know y'all love it when I change something. My sale is supposed to be here. All right, my 19.2 at, I don't need units. Y'all know what we're doing. 2520, because they're the oldest. And then what do we say, 13.8 of the newer ones, 2640. That's why I tell y'all to write in pencil, so you can erase when I make mistakes. So we have a total of 33 units here. We know this extends out. 19.2 times 2520 is 483,840. And 13,800 units times 2640 is 364,320. So if we were looking for cost of merchandise sold, we would add those two together. So what are we left with at the end? We sold these, so we don't have these anymore. And we used up some of the 45. So 45,000 minus 13,800, huh? 31,000? Gotcha. We got 31,200 left of these $26.40 units, which gives us what inventory?
823,680.
Okay, so this is our ending inventory. That was one of our questions. That's the only question, was ending inventory costs. Now, if the question involved, what was your cost of merchandise sold, or, on January 17th, you could answer it by the combination of those two. If it asked you, what was your cost of merchandise sold for the January 26th sale, you could add these two together and get that answer. But this is our ending inventory. You could also answer the question about what was your ending inventory on this date. Of course, we made the dates up, but, if they were to ask you that in a problem where the dates were assigned. Okay, so LIFO. Put the beginning inventory in. Okay, what were my dates? 5/10, 17, 20, and 26, right? Okay, so our beginning inventory is going to be the same, 21,600 at $20. We have $430,000. That's not changing. We're going to start out with the same thing. In fact, after this first sale, or this first sale will look the same as well. Okay, so let's go back up here and see what we had. We ended up with 7,200 left after that first sale of our $20 units, and that was 144,000. Okay, and then we had our first purchase, and again, that's going to be similar as well because we haven't really gotten to the place yet where we're changing anything. We're using a different method yet. All right, so $48,000 of units rather at 2520. That was my total. 1,296,000. Okay, so now we have 7,200 units that cost us $20 for a total of 144,000, and we have 48,000 units that cost us 2520 for a total of 1,296,000. Okay, so on the 17th we have a sale. So this is where things change. We're looking at last in, first out. So we're going to go from the bottom up. Well, we're selling 36,000 units. So where are we going to take that cost from?
25.
We're going to take it out of this latest purchase because last in is the one that first is going to sell. So we're going to go from the bottom instead of going from the top. So we're going to take our cost out of that 48,000 unit purchase. So we'll say 36,000 units were sold. The cost is going to be $25.20 because we have plenty of those units in that batch to absorb this sale. We're not going to have to split it because we have plenty to cover it. So 36,000 times $25.20 per unit gives us 907,200. So we are left with 12,000 of that latest purchase. And we also have this from our beginning balance. We have 7,200 units left of that. We haven't sold any more of those because we're using the most recent purchases. So we've got 144,000. This is so tiny.
Oh, it's going to get worse.
Fantastic. All right, and then 12,000 times 2520 gives us 3,024. Now this problem is only asking for ending inventory, and we don't have to calculate that just yet, but if you needed to know inventory at any given point, just add them together. All right, so on the 20th, we have our second purchase. We've purchased 45,000 units at $26.40, and we have a total of that there, 1,188,000. So we multiply our number of units times our price. So now oh goodness, now we have three different sets. Okay.
Yep.
So we have 7,200, 12,000, and 45,000. $20 units, 25.20, and 26.40. I need to make fatter squares. We don't necessarily have to extend those out yet because we don't need it. You could if you wanted to, up to you. The last sale is 33,000 units. Where are we going to take that cost from? The 45. So we're whacking away at these different unit costs, but we're not getting rid of any specific batch completely. So we're going to take our cost out of this most recent purchase. So 33,000 times 26.40 is 871,200. So at this point, we have left 7,200 units at $20. We can spread out a little bit now. 12,000 at 25.20, and we have 45,000 minus 33 is 12 again?
Yep.
12,000 units at 2640. So this is however many units. We're not going to add those together. We've got to extend them out. We've got 144,000. We've got 12,000 times 2520. 302, 4. And we've got 12,000 times 2640 per unit. So that's 316,800. So we would add these three together to get, this is your ending inventory. Add those three together for your total inventory cost. And I get 763.2. What y'all get? Same thing? Okay. So this answers your question. It's a long way to go to get to one number in it.
The fun starts on next.
On the next page, this one's fun. Woo-woo. Oh, they have dates for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Hallelujah.
Well, you have to, because you have to mark,
That's right.
so you know, like, which, like, whatever you're doing, like, rate of cost on, like, multiple purchase.
Yeah, and see, all this down here below the problem is stuff I'm giving you. This is my, these are my worksheets. Okay, so we have these particular units available for sale during the year. We have a purchase or sale, and this time they did not give us the sale price, which is oh so helpful since that's confusing. Weighted average cost is used, so we're going to determine the cost of merchandise sold for each sale and the inventory balance after each sale. So we'll have to keep up with our numbers. All right, so on January 1, we start out with 30,000 units at $30 per unit. So is that 900,000 or 9 million? 900,000.
9 million.
Woo-woo.
Yeah,
9 million.
a lot.
Yeah, that's too many. All right, so on March 18th, make that look like an R, we have a sale of 24,000 units. Well, this is easy because all we have is $30 units. So 24, 48, 24 times 3, 72, 72,000, 720,000. All right, $720,000. So that's going to leave us 6,000 units at $30, and that multiplied out is 180,000. All right, so our cost of merchandise sold for this first sale is 720,000, and our inventory balance after the sale is 180,000. Okay, so now May 2nd. May 2nd, we're going to purchase some more. I'm not sure why they waited so long. Maybe it's a seasonal item. Okay, so we've got 54,000 units that we're purchasing at $31 per unit. So the total cost of this purchase is, 1,674,000. Okay. Now we're going to stop here before we carry our number over because we're going to average these unit costs together. So this is our May 2nd purchase. We're starting with 6,000 units. It cost us 30 per unit. The total there is 180. Now we're going to add 54,000 units, price of $31 a unit. Total cost $1,674,000. So the total units we have now are 60. We're not going to put anything there. And then maybe that's better. Is that better so you can see it? 1 180,000 plus 1,674,000 is a total of 1,854,000 for inventory cost at this point. So we're going to take that total price or cost, and we're going to divide it by the total number of units. And we get $30.90 per unit. That's our new unit cost. So we'll enter that here. We know from our computations at the bottom, we've got 60,000 units, and we know that our total inventory cost at this point is 1,854,000. Okay. I just like this one better. You don't have to try to figure out which one to use. Okay. On August 9th, we have another sale. We're selling 45,000 units. And we're going to use $30.90 for our cost because that's our average unit cost we have figured. Oops. Put the equals too quick. So 1,390,500. Y'all get that?
Yep.
So to answer that question, this would be the cost of merchandise sold for this particular sale. And that leaves us with 60,000 minus 45. Now we have 15,000 units left. And we have a unit cost of $30.90. So our total inventory cost at this point is $463,500. So multiply these 15,000 times 30.90 gives you 463.5. Okay, so one last purchase on October 20th. Whoops, break it. 21,000 units. We're purchasing those at $32.10. It's funny how all these costs keep getting larger. So what is my total there? Since I'm breaking it. 674,100 is our purchase price. Okay, so now we got to drop down to the bottom. And we're going to recalculate our average unit price. Okay, so this is our October 20th purchase. Let's go back up here. We're starting before that purchase. We have 15,000 units at $30.90. And that gives us 463,500. And we just purchased 21,000 units at $32.10 for a total of $674,100. Okay, so you don't add anything there, but we're going to add up our number of units. We get 36,000. Is that right on my total?
1137.
1137? And it's a 1. All right, so total price or cost is 1,137,600. And we're going to divide that by the number of units. So this is our dollar amount. That's our units. And we get how much per unit?
31.6.
That gives us $31.60 per unit. So we can go ahead and put that here. And we figured our numbers down here at the bottom. So we have 36,000 units now at 1,137,600. So that's our ending inventory at this point, and that's the end of the problem. Everybody good? That help? You need to see, and you need to scroll up or down? Here, this way. Yeah. To me, that makes more sense, but you know, they didn't ask me. They don't care what I think. All right, I hope that was helpful. And again, make sure, you know, if you're watching that you sign up for your spot to take the test. And we'll review on Monday.